Are you excited to see me? What's your kid doing in your ear? Really? You're so dramatic. Hi, cutie. I love you too.
When I walked into the shelter, I thought I knew what kind of dog I would bring home. Most people look for the young ones, the playful ones, the puppies with years and years ahead of them. And honestly, I thought I would probably do the same. Then I saw Coute. He was old. One of his eyes could barely see. His coat had thinned with age. And even getting up and walking looked harder than it should. I remember looking at him and thinking one thing. You deserve to spend whatever time you have left knowing what it feels like to be loved. I had no idea that choosing Coute would change my life too. There was nothing about Coute that would make him the easy choice. He wasn't a puppy. He wasn't going to run through the house for hours. He wasn't going to chase a ball across the yard all afternoon. His body had already lived a long life, and you could see it. He was losing some of the things dogs normally depend on. His eyesight, his strength, his balance. Even simple movement could take effort. But when I looked into that one good eye, I didn't see a broken old dog. I saw someone still very much in there. Someone who still wanted to belong. So I brought him home. At first, everything had to slow down. Scott needed time. Time to understand the house. Time to learn where things were. Time to figure out that nobody here was going to ask too much of him. He found the soft places quickly. The couch, the blankets, the warm little corners where he could finally rest. And before long, those became his places. But something else happened too. He started watching me. Really watching me. Whenever I spoke, that little face would turn toward me. Sometimes I swear he understood every single word. And this is something people sometimes forget about senior dogs. Their bodies may be slowing down, but that doesn't mean the love inside them is getting smaller. If anything, Coute seemed to have more of it. He wanted to be close. He wanted to know where I was. He wanted to be part of whatever was happening. Even when his legs weren't cooperating, his heart was. And that's when I started realizing I hadn't adopted an old dog who needed somewhere to spend his final years. I had brought home a companion. Of course, loving Coute also meant accepting the difficult parts. Walking wasn't easy. Some days were better than others. There were moments when his little legs simply couldn't do what his mind wanted them to do. But Coute was stubborn, in the best possible way. He still wanted to go outside. He still wanted to smell the grass. He still wanted to explore. And watching him try made me realize something. He wasn't ready to stop living, so neither were we. We started finding ways to make his world easier. Shorter walks, more rest, a little extra help when he needed it, and lots of patience. Coute didn't care how slowly we moved. He just wanted to come along. There were moments when he was outside, surrounded by leaves, sniffing around like any other dog. And for a few minutes, you almost forgot his age. You forgot the bad eye. You forgot the weak legs. You just saw Coute enjoying another day. Those became some of my favorite moments. But then we reached a point where love alone wasn't enough. His legs needed real help. And that scared me. Because when you adopt a senior dog, there's always a little voice in the back of your mind. You know time matters. You know every new problem can become something bigger. Thankfully, I had a veterinarian I trusted completely. And instead of simply saying, well, he's old, we asked a different question. What can we do to make the time he has more comfortable? That changed everything. His legs were treated. He got support to help him move. And little by little, you could see the difference. Not because Coute suddenly became young again. That was never the goal. The goal was comfort. To give him a chance to walk without fighting his own body every step of the way. To let him go outside and still feel like a dog. That may sound like a small thing, but when you love an old animal, the small things become very big things. One comfortable step matters. One good afternoon matters. One more walk in the sunshine matters. And Coute had this wonderful way of reminding us not to take any of it too seriously. He wore his little outfits. He sat on the couch like he owned the place. Sometimes he looked at me with that expression that said, "I know exactly what you're doing, and I'm not impressed." He had personality. A lot of personality. Age hadn't taken that away. If anything, it made him funnier. Because Coute knew what he liked. He knew where he wanted to sit, and he definitely knew when dinner should arrive. There were also things that had to be adjusted around food. When a dog gets this old, eating isn't always as simple as putting a bowl on the floor. So we worked around him. We made things easier. We helped when he needed help, and Coute accepted it in his own way. That became our routine. Not perfect, not always easy, but ours. And somewhere along the way, I stopped thinking about everything Coute had lost. I started thinking about everything he still had. He still had curiosity. He still had his favorite foods. He still enjoyed being outside. He still wanted affection. And he still had this incredible ability to look straight into my eyes and make me feel like he knew exactly how I was feeling. That one good eye could say more than most people do with words. When I was happy, he seemed to know. When I was tired, he stayed close. When I talked to him, he listened. Maybe he didn't understand every word. But somehow, he always understood the important part. And here's what surprised me most. I brought Coute home because I thought his final chapter deserved to be a happy one. I wanted him to have warmth, comfort, good food, soft blankets, walks when he could manage them, and someone beside him when he couldn't. I thought I was giving him something, but Coute had quietly started giving all of that back to me. The house felt different with him in it. Fuller somehow. Warmer. He was a tiny dog. A fragile little old man with one good eye and legs that sometimes needed help. But his love filled every room. That's the funny thing about dogs. They don't measure life the way we do. They don't worry about how many years they have left. They care about today. Is my person here? Is there somewhere warm to sleep? Can we go outside? Can I sit beside you? To Coute, that was enough. And watching him taught me that maybe it should be enough for us sometimes too. I know there will always be people who walk into a shelter and choose the youngest dog, and there is nothing wrong with that. Puppies need homes too, but somewhere in those shelters are dogs like Coute. Older, slower, maybe losing their sight, maybe struggling to walk. Dogs that people pass because they're afraid of how little time might be left. I understand that fear now more than ever. But I also understand something else. A short time filled with love is still a whole lifetime to the dog receiving it. If I could go back to that day at the shelter, knowing everything I know now, I would choose Coute again. Every single time. I didn't bring him home because I thought I could make him young again. I brought him home because he deserved to grow old with dignity. To feel safe. To feel comfortable. And most of all, to know he belonged to someone. Coute may be losing some of the things that once made life easy for him. His sight, his strength, his ability to move the way he used to. But there is one thing age has never taken away. His ability to love. His body may be small, his steps may be slow, but the love inside this little dog has filled our entire home. And bringing him home was one of the best decisions I ever made.